Thank you for that. The new year has brought some good news for people wanting to get into the property market. Experts say lower interest rates and an oversupply of new homes could drive prices down. In 2017, prices in Melbourne are set to grow by 5%. Sydney's growth is predicted to trail at around 4%, and there'll be modest gains in Brisbane and Adelaide, and Perth's downturn means prices are forecast to remain steady. Economist Dr. Andrew Wilson from the Domain Group joins me now. Good morning, Andrew. Finally, some good news. Can we say that for first-time buyers?
Well, look, what we're seeing is the change in the cycle to a certain degree, particularly in the Sydney market. Of course, we've seen those spectacular double-figure growth results over the past 3 or 4 years in Sydney, and Melbourne's been very strong too. But I think we're now going to see that winding back, and really the difference between the underperforming and overperforming housing markets will come together, I think, next year or this year as well. And I think that's good news for those wanting to get into the market.
So what's driving it winding back or softening or prices slowing down at least?
Well, it's part of the, I guess, the waning of our economic energy. We're seeing, record low incomes growth, low inflation, and even though we have the prospect for lower interest rates, I think that the tension is between the Reserve Bank cutting rates and banks not passing them on. And so we're not going to have that same capacity to push prices up with lower interest rates that we had over the last few years.
And if you own a home, though, where are you going to see the biggest growth?
Well, I think that certainly Sydney and Melbourne have the prospects for the most growth. We have very strong migration into those markets. Of course, the Sydney economy is very strong. I think we'll get modest results in the other capital city markets, and perhaps the Perth market will finally bottom out this year. But a lot will depend on the economy. But as usual, a lot depends on interest rate policy. And I think the Australian economy has to do a little bit of work before the Reserve Bank stops cutting rates. But I think the question for the housing market is, if we do get cuts in rates, will the banks pass them on? I'm not sure about that.
Still a lot of ifs there, though, aren't there?
Well, there are a lot of ifs, but certainly it was a good year 2016 for most homeowners. As I said, the end of the roller coaster ride, I think, in our housing markets provides more certainty and predictability. We won't see, I don't think, those double-figure crazy results we've had, particularly in the Sydney market over recent years.
OK. Andrew, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure, Michael.
Thank you. Thanks for that. OK, here's Eddie.